Shirley MacLaine's candid reflections involving Rob Reiner have drawn intense attention not because of scandal, but because of the rare honesty with which she addressed power, respect, and creative tension in an industry that thrives on carefully maintained myths. MacLaine, born in 1934, built her career on independence and fearlessness, earning a reputation as an actress who refused to be controlled or diminished, while Reiner emerged decades later as one of Hollywood's most influential directors, celebrated for his collaborative instincts and commercial success. When their professional paths intersected, expectations were high, yet MacLaine later acknowledged that the experience exposed deeper truths about how authority quietly shifts in Hollywood, particularly when veteran performers work under directors from a different generation. Her so-called confession was not an accusation against Reiner, whom she consistently described as intelligent and professional, but a reflection on moments where creative philosophies collided, revealing how even respectful collaborations can carry unspoken friction. MacLaine explained that she had reached a stage in her life where she no longer felt compelled to suppress her instincts or defer to hierarchy simply to maintain harmony, and that asserting her voice occasionally created discomfort in environments accustomed to compliance. What left Hollywood speechless was not the content of her remarks, but the fact that she articulated an experience many actors privately recognize yet rarely discuss publicly, that creative control often narrows as power consolidates, regardless of talent or tenure. She spoke of how the industry subtly conditions performers, particularly women, to equate professionalism with silence, making dissent appear disruptive even when rooted in artistic conviction. In discussing Reiner, MacLaine emphasized that the tension was emblematic of a broader system rather than a personal failing, noting that generational differences in storytelling, pacing, and character ownership can create fault lines beneath otherwise smooth productions. Her willingness to frame the experience with clarity rather than grievance reframed the narrative away from gossip and toward institutional truth. Reiner, in her account, represented a modern Hollywood structure built on efficiency, branding, and audience expectation, while she embodied an older tradition where emotional intuition and personal interpretation were central to performance. The confession resonated because it exposed how easily collaboration can become conditional, shaped less by mutual respect than by invisible hierarchies that determine whose voice ultimately prevails. MacLaine's reflections also underscored how rare it is for women of her generation to speak openly about creative discomfort without fear of professional retaliation, making her late-life candor feel quietly revolutionary. Rather than diminishing Reiner, her words expanded the conversation, prompting industry observers to reconsider how power operates behind closed doors and how often artistic tension is erased from Hollywood history in favor of polished narratives. By choosing honesty over nostalgia, MacLaine challenged the assumption that successful films are born solely of harmony, reminding audiences that disagreement, when handled with integrity, is often a sign of authenticity rather than dysfunction. In the end, what Shirley MacLaine revealed about Rob Reiner was not a secret meant to shock, but a truth meant to clarify, that even in respectful partnerships, voices can be constrained, and that reclaiming one's agency can be both uncomfortable and necessary. Hollywood was left speechless not because a scandal had been exposed, but because a long-standing silence was finally broken by someone whose legacy freed her to speak plainly, transforming a simple professional reflection into a powerful statement about dignity, autonomy, and the evolving nature of creative power in an industry built as much on control as on imagination.